Polynomial inequalities. Now, just like we solve polynomial equations by setting it equal to 0 and solving, we can also do inequalities with greater than and less than zeros. Okay, so again, best way is to look at an example. So let's have a look at this example 1. Right, x squared minus 4x minus 5 greater than 0. Now we still solve it as though it was equal to 0. Here we go. Okay, this way we'll find the x-intercepts. So I factored it, got x plus 1, x minus 5. So you can see that negative 1 and positive 5 would be the zeros, the x-intercepts. Okay, here they are. Now what we do now is we actually put those on a number line. Look, here's negative 1. Here's positive 5. Okay. Now what I'm going to do to actually solve this is pick numbers away from that negative 1 and positive 5. So I could choose maybe from here, I don't know, could choose negative 2. Okay. Here, best one to do is actually to choose 0. In between negative 1 and 5, let's choose 0 and maybe a 6. Okay. So notice I've picked a number from this section, from the middle section and that section. Okay. Now I'm going to test this. Right, negative 2. Let's put it back into here. Negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared is 4. Okay? Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then take away 5. Now can you see, I don't have to know exactly what the number is. I just have to realise that that is going to be a positive answer. If I put negative 2 in, I'm going to get a positive answer on this area. Okay? Which is true. I want it to be greater than 0. That's true. How about if I choose this 0 and test it? Well, 0, x squared 0, negative 4x 0. This is going to leave me with negative 5 greater than 0. Well, no it isn't. Alright, so this area doesn't work. Okay, this will give me a negative. Okay. Right, let's try the 6 here. 6 squared is 36. Take away 4 times 6, take away 24. That's 12. That's going to be positive. Okay, look at that. That will give me a positive answer. In other words, it's greater than 0. So this section is good and this section is good. So my final answer is going to be this. Watch this. Negative infinity to negative 1. Okay. In other words, this part. Because that was okay. That was greater than 0. And then also, what do we have here? 5 to infinity. Okay, right underneath. 5 to infinity. Okay, so again, I just tested, 5 to infinity. Okay, these sections in between either side of the x-intercepts to see if it was true or false. Is it greater than 0? Is it positive or negative? Okay, let's have a look at what they did. So here's the actual graph. Look, and here visually, look, greater than 0 is this part and this part. Less than 0 is this at the bottom, okay, less than 0. So we were looking for this up here. And you can see visually that is negative infinity to negative 1 and then 5 to infinity. Okay, so again, this is what they did. They split it up. I showed you on the previous slide. And again, pick numbers. They picked negative 2. Okay, they picked 0. They picked 7. I picked 6. As long as it's numbers, again, I'll go back to this one. Well, you can see the original one. Okay, I picked a number from here. They picked negative 2. Number from somewhere here, 0. I picked 6. They picked 7. As long as you realise whether it's positive or negative, for this one, was it greater than 0? Okay, and there's the answer down there. Okay, let's try some more. Now this one, all this wants you to do is just make sure it's set to 0. Now this is a less than or equal to. Okay, the other one was a greater than. Okay, which means I'm going to take away an x, take away 3. I'm going to do that from there. I'll end up with this. So again, no real different to the very first one. Okay, apart from this side is different. Let's have a look at this one. So again, when we factor, we get this. So my x-intercepts are at negative 4. Can you see there on the number line? And positive 2. And again, we test some numbers. So if I test, let's say, negative 5. Okay, negative 5. Let's test a number from this area here. Negative 5. Right, negative 5 squared is positive 25. 2 times negative 5, that's negative 10. And then negative 8, well, I can see that's going to give me a positive answer. That will give me a positive answer, okay? And that's not less than 0. So this area cannot be part of the answer, okay? Negative 4 and 2 between there, again, try 0. 0 is always easier because look, that's gone, x squared's gone, 2x is gone. Is negative 8 less than 0, less than or equal to? Yes, it is, okay? So that is negative. That area is good. Okay. And finally, let's just choose a 3. Something bigger than 2. 3 squared is 9 plus 6. That's positive. It's going to be a positive answer. Okay, so that is not less than 0. That area is no good. So the only part that works is from negative 4 to positive 2. Okay, now because this has an equal sign, I would use a bracket. Okay, there. That's the answer to that one there. Okay, again, equal sign, so use a bracket. Okay, and again, there's the visuals over here. Less than 0, so it's this area here. Okay. Okay, one more. Right, again, just another one, factor. But this time we're going to get 3 answers. Look, if I factor an x out of this here, okay, I'll get this. Leaves me with a difference of squares, which will factor to this. So my zeros are 0, negative 1, and positive 1. And here they are down here. Okay, so this time I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to check. Okay, so something between, well, something less than negative 1. Okay, well, actually, let's see what they've done below. Okay, let's cheat. Okay, if we use negative 2, apparently the answer comes out to be negative 6. So this is negative. What we're looking for? We're looking for something that's greater than 0. So that area is going to be no good. Something between negative 1 and 0, they've used negative a half. Okay, somewhere here. When they put that in, they got a positive answer. They got a positive answer for this area here. Okay, between negative 1 and 0. Between 0 and 1, looks like they've used a positive a half, and they got a negative answer. Okay, they've got a negative for this one. So that's okay. Are we looking for that? Are we looking for greater than 0? No, yep. So that one's no good. No good. And then finally, anything above 1, they've used 2, and they get a positive answer. Okay. So can you see? There you go. That's just me testing some numbers in between these points, okay, and seeing what we get. Negatives and positives. Is it greater than 0? That's what I'm looking for. So it's just the ones with plus in, which is negative 1 to 0. Okay, so negative 1 to 0. That one worked okay. And then 1 to infinity. Okay, so that would be the answer to that one. I'm using parentheses because it doesn't have an equal sign. Do you have an answer there? Okay, so there's just a little diagram. Okay, and that's just you trying to show x cubed minus x greater than 0. So here's the solution. Okay.